But you know what? Even if the battery didn't last that long, I still wouldn't mind. You want to know why? Warp Charge 30T, my boys. It charges the phone so quick, you basically only have enough time to plug it in. You can go to the fridge for a glass of water, you come back, uh-oh, you are heartbroken because your crush didn't answer you on Snapchat, but you don't care. Why? Because your phone is charged up and you are ready to go on Tinder. All of a sudden, you're not heartbroken anymore. It's a win-win. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Mark's Tech. This is my new cameraman. Hey, careful. So if I keep him here, will you guys like the video? Will you guys press the like button? For him, not for me. Don't do it for me, do it for him. The history of OnePlus has always been kind of fascinating to me because I kind of liked what they stood for. You know, making affordable phones with pretty damn good specs. Yes. So OnePlus always did that. They made really cheap-ish kind of phones, medium-range phones with extremely good specs. But there's always some sort of compromises. For example, when I got the OnePlus 7 Pro, the biggest compromise that I could see straight off the bat was the camera. But that kind of made sense. You know, if you want a great phone with everything perfect and great, yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money. So I understood the motive of compromise. So then along came the OnePlus 8. Let's talk about it. I don't want to run you over. Where are you? The phone I have here is the base model OnePlus 8, which comes with the 8GB of RAM, 128GB of storage, and obviously the Snapdragon 865. This phone starts at just $700. When looking at this phone, the first thing that surprised me the most is the display. It's a very bright and color accurate display capable of 90Hz refresh rate. While it's not the 120Hz like the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra or the OnePlus 8 Pro, I feel like 90Hz is really the perfect sweet spot between smoothness and battery saving. I have the S20 Ultra and it's super hard for me to really notice a difference between 120 and 90. Is the difference there? Let me put it this way. If you are a gamer, you might be able to tell the difference, but I know people that can't even see the difference of 90Hz. I guess he wants to say hi to you guys. Oh, he doesn't look too happy. So again, even at 90Hz, the phone is just a pleasure to use and it's very fun to game on. Fortnite just actually partnered up with OnePlus and allowed 90Hz gaming on OnePlus 8 devices. Unfortunately, you can't really max out the graphics while using 90Hz, but hey, I mean, come on, even the Xbox and PlayStation can't do 90Hz on Fortnite either, so. The problem with 120Hz is simply it's not perfected yet in the devices that it is set on. For example, the S20 Ultra, some of those units have green tint issues, and that same green tint is actually translated to the OnePlus 8 Pro with also 120Hz. Those models do have green tint issues. What? What do you want? That's actually the main reason why Apple may or may not put 120Hz. They want to make sure if they do it, it is properly done and does not have any green tint issues. So now you guys know if you didn't know. The next iPhone might not have a high refresh rate screen if they cannot fix that problem. Usually I'm not a fan of curved displays because it introduces a lot of accidental touches, but I think OnePlus mastered the perfect ratio of curve to not curve, to flat, I guess. Because honestly, using this phone without a case, even if I don't have a case on it, I actually don't even have a case for the phone. Using the phone, I almost never have accidental touches, like ever. It's so weird because any other previous phone that I've had with a curved display, like the OnePlus 7 Pro that I've had, there was a ton of accidental touches. I could not use the OnePlus 7 Pro without a case. It was just not possible. But this phone without a case, perfect. No accidental touches at all. So I guess they must have really did something with the software, and I guess they don't have such a drastic curve for it to be a problem. Whatever they did, it works great. but your mileage may vary, so I can't speak for everyone. As I've said, I never used the case on this phone, so let's go ahead and see how the body of the OnePlus 8 has held up over the month that I've been using it. The front of the phone still has the factory installed screen protector, and by the way, OnePlus, Samsung, any company that's doing that, thank you. Thank you. It's not the best screen protector out there, but it's free, so you don't have to worry about potentially scratching your display one day of using it. Thank you for including that. Keep on doing so. But the screen protector did take quite a beating, as you guys can tell. It didn't go through into the display, but hey, I'm still gonna give it an A+ rating. The back of the phone, thanks to that frosted glass, not only hides fingerprints, but also hides scratches, which is perfect in this situation here, as there is absolutely no scratches anywhere to be found on either side of the phone, front or back. It is quite literally in perfect condition. Again, the only thing is that screen protector is scratched up, but it's doing its job, so pass. While we are talking about the back of the phone, let's go ahead and kill two birds with one stone and talk about the cameras. OnePlus has really stepped up their game when it comes to camera, when it comes to photo quality. They stepped up. I mean, they listened to every problem that we had and they fixed it. It is a really good camera. What you guys are looking at here is the differences between the iPhone 11 Pro up against the OnePlus 8. And I mean, come on. In my opinion, the only difference is color and maybe a little bit of a different exposures going on. But some may like the color from one device and others may like the color from the other device. They both look incredible, and this is just further proof that OnePlus isn't the same as they were before. They are really focusing on the issues that people have been having with their prior phones. Now, the macro lens on the OnePlus 8 has, it's okay. It's nothing spectacular like the OnePlus 8 Pro, for example, but it does get the job done. I never really used the macro lens ever apart from doing these tests. So, I mean, I don't know, it's not really for me, but if you're the type of person that loves macro and you do a lot of them, you might want to consider getting the OnePlus 8 Pro instead. The one thing I will always appreciate about OnePlus devices is the awesome ring vibrate and mute switch. Why don't more companies do this? Samsung put a Bixby, there you go, that's a word. They put the Bixby button that no one asked for, and they kept it even though people hated it, but it's gone now. But this, I mean, they could have added something that everyone would use on a daily basis. It's just so awesome to put the phone into ring or silent or vibrate, whatever, without having to turn on the screen, without even needing to take the phone out of your pocket. It's a very convenient feature. The software experience of the phone is amazing. It is very close to stock OS. It is super smooth. It is even super smooth when you're using it at 60 Hertz. It's just, I don't know, man. People always ask me why I like or why I prefer Oxygen OS. And I can't really answer it because even I don't know. Just something about the software and the hardware, it almost kind of like just fits together. It's almost as if they were meant to be together forever. And then whenever you activate 90 Hertz or even 120 Hertz on the Pro models, that smoothness just goes to a whole new level. It's flawless. It really is like an iPhone. Now, what do I mean by that? It feels like the Snapdragon 865 was supposed to work with Oxygen OS. It just feels like they were meant to be together forever, like I said. Kind of like the iPhone. The A13 chip is meant to be on iOS. That's why it works flawlessly together. That's what I feel about OnePlus devices. They just work so well, almost no glitches. In fact, I haven't had a single glitch while using this phone. Another thing I love about Oxygen OS is just how easy it is to install icon packs and do other various customizations, like changing the colors of the toggles and the color in the menus of the phone. Small details like that really make me appreciate OnePlus for adding those in to make the phone a little more personal. And speaking of attention to detail, Samsung, why is your unlock animation so laggy? I don't get it. For a phone with 120 Hertz, you would feel like the unlock animation should be very smooth. I mean, just look at the comparison between the OnePlus 8 unlocking animation versus the S20 Ultra. I mean, that's a night and day difference. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but just everything about Oxygen OS is just built around speed and smoothness. Now, I don't want to really talk about the Snapdragon 865 and the actual performance of the phone because what more can I say? The phone is a 2020 flagship phone with literally up-to-date specs. Yes, it is going to be insanely quick. And yes, 8 gigabytes of RAM even in 2020 is still perfectly fine because Oxygen OS is such a light skin. And that's about as much as I want to cover on the speed of the phone. It's a brand new phone, up-to-date specs, it's fast. So the battery. Yes, the battery. A phone can be the best phone in the world, but if it dies really quickly, what good is it? Well, no worries, since the OnePlus 8 doesn't have 120Hz and instead has 90Hz, the battery life is pretty damn significant. I was getting around 7 hours of screen on time, which, hey, in my book, that's a pass. But you know what? Even if the battery didn't last that long, I still wouldn't mind. You wanna know why? Warp Charge 30T, my boys. It charges the phone so quick, you basically only have enough time to plug it in. You can go to the fridge for a glass of water, you come back, you are heartbroken because your crush didn't answer you on Snapchat, but you don't care. Why? Because your phone is charged up and you are ready to go on Tinder. All of a sudden, you're not heartbroken anymore. It's a win-win. The one thing I would have loved to see right now is the always-on display, but don't worry, that is coming up with an update later on this year for all OnePlus 8 devices. Your phone is going to have an always-on display. It's very convenient to see the time, the date, the notifications without turning the phone on. Awesome. Again, OnePlus listens to the community. So basically, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about on the OnePlus 8. I mean, I've made other videos about it, so if I didn't mention something you guys wanted to know, maybe you go check out the other videos. I probably answered it there. But yeah, a month later, this phone is just, man, it's so good. There's something about OnePlus that's just awesome. So if you made it this far in the video, leave me a comment on how your day went using only emojis. That'll be pretty interesting to read. This was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.